Hi, and welcome everybody to another edition of the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Podcast. I'm Ross Benjamin, and like every Wednesday, I'm joined by the guy they call Big Al. That's Al McMordie of BigAl.com. How are you, Al?
Doing well today. How are you, Ross?
Extremely well. Thank you for asking. And we're going to be covering two college football games today. The first between the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the Syracuse Orange, and the other number 19 Kentucky versus number 3 Tennessee. Al will be covering the Notre Dame Syracuse game. And Al, we'll get right to it. Syracuse 6-1, coming off their first loss of the season against number 5 Clemson on the road. Gave Clemson all they can handle. And they're facing a 4-3 Notre Dame team that's lost to the likes of Marshall this year. So why is this line only 2.5? And what is your take?
Because you're not going to win, Ross. That's
all
why
right, that's what I was waiting to hear. All right.
Yeah, I mean, you probably have followed this theory, for decades as I have. It's called the bubble burst theory, and you take a look at how teams do when they start the year 5-0 or better, and then they finally lose their first game of the season. They don't do very well their next game. They have an emotional letdown after their first loss of the season. That's what Syracuse is facing today versus Notre Dame. And I've got various tighteners that I use to try to fine tune that general angle. And one of the things I like to do is I like to go against those teams off their first loss if they're favored or they're pick 'em, which Syracuse is. And also, I like to play on teams that are sub 600, because if the team has a big opponent the next week, they might get up for that game. But when they're playing the lesser schools, the letdowns do happen a lot more. So with those two criteria in place, our bubble burst theory is 107 and 63 with 4 pushes ATS going back to 1980. Then I also have a third tightener, which will remain for my eyes only, that moves that 107 and 63 angle to 79 and 39 ATS, and that applies to Syracuse as well. So I'm going to happily take the points with Notre Dame, Ross.
There you go. I mean, again, we have an unranked team against a ranked team in Syracuse, number 18 in the country. A Syracuse team that's won 6 of 7. Notre Dame coming off a win over that powerhouse UNLV, even though UNLV is much better this year. And L is going with the unranked team.
And yeah, but I don't care. I could not care less about unranked or ranked. There's
no, I get that.
I know, but there's people look at, like, they say, oh, if an unranked team is favored over a ranked team, the unranked team's aside. That's bullshit. I've tracked that for 30 some years. It won in college basketball from 1987 to 1995. Then it got destroyed from around 1997 to 2007. And since 2007, it's 293 and 290, completely 50-50. But people still think, oh, if you take an unranked favorite over a ranked underdog, you'll make money. No, these days it's 50-50, and it hasn't won for decades. But
yeah.
Anyway, I digress, but I'm just saying that has nothing to do with why I like it.
And point well taken. Again, there's no easy way to do this. There's no-brainer methods that work 70% of the time. So again, Al, you make a good point. My point I was trying to make was public perception. They think they're getting a steal with a ranked team at -2.5 against an unranked team. That's not us. That's not people who handicap games on a daily basis. That's people who like to dabble in once in a while. And usually when it looks too good to be true in sports betting, it is. All right, Al.
That's a great point, Ross.
Yeah, thank you. And Al, I know you got to go, so we're going to let you tell the folks where they can find you, how you've been doing of late, and what you might have coming up, and then we'll let you go, and I'll do my pick solo.
Oh, I'd rather hear what you have to say.
All right, good. Well, let us know how you're doing anyway.
Yeah, sure. On a 21-13 run over the past week, I've got my 5-star NBA non-conference game of the month today. I don't have many 5 stars, Ross. This is just my first 5-star in almost 5 months. I generally have about 10 to 12 over a 12-month period, but I haven't had one since my.
What do you normally rank your plays so the viewers know?
Well, my plays are generally ranked. Most of my plays are 1-star plays, but You know, I rank them 5, 4, 3, and 1. With most of the plays being 1-star, I'd say about 96% are either 1-star or 3-star, and then maybe about 4% are 4 stars, and then I have about 10 to 12 5-stars over a 12-month period. So less than 1% are 5-star plays. I've got one tonight on Wednesday in the NBA, off to a 63% start in the NBA. And then I'll have, you know, a lot of plays over the football weekend, but I haven't finished the college football and pro football cards yet.
You can find Al at bigal.com. That's bigal.com. I similarly, I rank my plays just 5 and 10 star. And basically I've done that since the beginning of my career. And I always tell folks the 90% or better of your plays are going to be 5-star plays. And when I give you a 10-star top play, just bet 1.5 times on it. So you're not doubling up your play, but it's proper money management. And I have the least amount of patience for people who don't have the discipline or the patience to exercise proper money management through losing streaks, winning streaks, or all of the above. Anyway, I'm going to take a look at the Kentucky at Tennessee game, an intriguing matchup, 2 nationally ranked teams. SEC battle, 7 p.m. Eastern time kickoff start in Knoxville, Tennessee, 108,000 or whatever they can get in that building. There's going to be a lot of people. Tennessee right now is a 13-point favorite. Here's the thing. Kentucky 5-2 on the year, but when Will Levis is their starting quarterback, this is a team that's gone 5-1 this year. Their only loss with Levis under center came at number 15, Ole Miss, 22-19. Kentucky is also off a bye week. In their previous game, they were a 27-17 home winner as a underdog of 3.5 against Mississippi State, who was nationally ranked at that time. And Kentucky not only won that game 27-17, but that game really wasn't as close as the final score may indicate, as Kentucky outgained the Mississippi State Bulldogs 479-225 in that contest. This is a very explosive Tennessee team. They average 50.1 points per game and 572 yards per game. Both are ranked number 1 in the country in terms of those specific categories. Now, they'll be facing a Kentucky team that has allowed 24 points or fewer in all 7 games this year. Kentucky is the number 10 scoring defense at 16.4 points per game. Conversely, Tennessee, number 104 in total defense at 420 yards per game. They are 3-0 in conference play. Obviously, they're 7-0 on the year. But in those 3 conference games against vastly superior competition compared to their non-conference schedule, they've allowed 31.7 points per contest and 506 yards per game. Kentucky, another point, number 6 in the country in time of possession at 334.24. Tennessee, on the other hand, number 121 in that category at 26.45 a game. Of course, Tennessee, you can make the case their time of possession is so low because they're a quick strike offense and they score so rapidly. However, you know, the best defense sometime is a controlled, an offense that controls the clock. And that might be Kentucky's ticket to staying in this game, and I think it will be. Since 1999, all college football underdogs of 10.5 to 16.5, coming off a home underdog game in which they were a dog of 19.5 or less, but they pulled off a straight-up win in those contests by 9 points or greater, and they allowed 10 points or more in that game in that win. And both teams have winning records, 21-0 against the spread since 1999. I'm not going to repeat that again, folks. You could rewind that, but all I know, it's a perfect ATS angle for the home underdog, or for the underdogs, excuse me, of 10.5 to 16.5 within that parameter. So in any event, I'm taking Kentucky here. I know I'm going to be in a vast minority, plus the 13 at Tennessee. My NFL plays this year, 27-19, good for 59%. More importantly, I mentioned the 5-star and 10-star plays. I released 8 10-star plays in the NFL this year through the first 7 weeks of the season. I'm a perfect 8-0 with those plays. NFL primetime games, Sunday, Monday, Thursday night, 13-5 on the season, 71%. College football coming off a 4-1 week last week. What am I missing? NBA 41-29, going back to last year with my last 70, 59%. And NBA 10-star top plays going back to last year, 26-13, 67%. You can find me at rbwins.com. That's rbwins.com. Al, any thoughts?
No, after we go off air, you mentioned your 21-0 angle. I've got a nice 21-0 I'll give you for the NFL coming up this Sunday. But yeah, it looks to be a great weekend. So we're both having a great time in the NFL this year, and let's just keep it going.
Yeah, and I need to turn around in college football. I'm only 1 game over 500 on the season, but coming off a 4-1 week, folks, going to bounce back for the rest of the season. Al, always a pleasure to have you on. I appreciate your time, and I know the viewers do as well. You can find Al at BigL.com, Ross at RBWins.com, and until the next time, for Ross Benjamin and Big L McMordie, we like to wish each and every one of you all the very best. Take care, good luck, and God bless, folks.